All right, onward to number 4. This is like a sample of a grid-in question, so there's no multiple choices, but we can still answer it. When we have a quadratic equation, we're going to use what's called the zero product property. What the zero product property means is that first I have to rewrite the left side of this equation as a product. So I have to factor it, and I'll write it as a product of 2 factors. And I definitely want the number 0 on the other side. 0 has a special property. And that is, if I tell you I multiplied 2 numbers and got 0 for an answer, you know at least one of those 2 numbers started off at 0. You can't say that about any other number. If I tell you I multiplied 2 numbers and I got 12, like you would know what the numbers were. Maybe they were 1 and 12. Maybe they were 1/2 and 24. Maybe they were -2 and +6. And when you bring in fractions, and there's actually infinite possibilities, but 0 does not work that way. 0, you always know something when you're given the product. That's why we always select the number 0 to be on the right when we use this method for solving quadratics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to factor this trinomial. I start my factoring by making my 2 sets of parentheses. And then I ask myself, what 2 numbers do I multiply to get 2x squared? And the answer will be 2x times x gives me 2x squared. What 2 values do I multiply to get 7? Well, 7 is a prime number, so 7 and 1 are my only options. Maybe I want to put 7 and 1 here. Maybe I want to flip it and do them the other way. Let's check. If I do the outsides, I get 2x. If I do the insides, I get 7x. I cannot think of a way to combine 2 and 7 and get a 13. So let me try flip-flopping with this 7 and 1 here. I'll put the 1 here. I'll put the 7 here. And now let's see. 2 times 7 is 14. 1 times that x is going to be 1. Oh, 14 and 1. Those 2 numbers do combine to get 13. I can understand how to do that. I think I need my 14 to be negative. So I'll make it 2x times a -7 and my 1 to be positive. So altogether, that'll give me my -13x. I have this factored. Oh, my pencil's being a little weird. All right, we just won't erase that part. All right, so my 2 factors here are going to be 2x plus 1 and x minus 7. And now it's time for the zero product property. That means I can take these 2 factors and I can individually set them equal to 0. So 2x plus 1 equals 0 and x minus 7 equals 0. Now on this side, I'm just going to solve this like a linear equation. I'm going to get x equals -1/2. And here I'm going to get x equals 7. And so the question is, if this is a grid in, which of these 2 options do I grid in? Well, there's 2 ways to answer that. First of all, it says here in the question, x is greater than 0, and only x equals 7 is greater than 0. So my final answer here, I'll change color so it pops out at you. My final answer is going to be 7. Also, you should remember that when you grid in numbers on the SAT, there is no bubble for a negative sign. So if you do get a negative answer for one of these questions, go and see what your mistake is, because you should never get a negative on a grid in question.